Two Jack Bros. Two Jack Bros.
This is nice.
Yeah, you're in a little bit of half playroom, half studio.
Yeah, I like that, the off-camera stuff. But this is nice, man.
Yeah.
This is cool. You guys got the whole leaves hanging. It's like the Matrix in the Pottery Barn.
Yeah, I kind of stole my vision from a combination of dad meat and too much content.
Okay, yeah, both very good setups. Yeah,
Right?
Too much content's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice and airy. We're breathing, feeling good.
Yes.
Yeah. So, man, happy to have you here. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, man. This is great. This
Yeah.
is nice.
Yeah. We've hung out with Brian before, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure we've crossed paths.
Yeah.
I think
It's
the
been
last
a
time we were
while.
all hanging out was at your play, like 3 years ago when me and Kyla came to your play.
Yeah.
Not to brag, but I used to do. I did a play once.
Yeah.
I got, I got somebody headhunted me into a play. And I just went in there, and it's I couldn't believe it because the most ridiculous part about that play is she saw me being belligerent at a group job interview.
Mm-hmm.
And then she thought I was going to show up on time for rehearsals and shit.
That's how she got introduced to you.
Yeah, she was. So there's this company that does. Remember this episode of Seinfeld where they did they act their patients, but they have to act sick, and the doctors have to.
Yeah, Kramer and Mickey.
That is that for what's it called?
Oh.
Homeopathic for
Yes.
homeopathic
Okay.
medicine. They for the world that company does it right here in Conshohocken.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And so I had an interview with them, and I made it all the way to like the last interview, and so did she. But it was a big group interview, and every time the dude said something, because he kept talking about how he would talk about like little tips on public speaking and shit, and it's like, dude, no,
Yeah.
don't have them do that. Like this is what you would actually do in this situation. And I was just
Yeah.
like,
You came in just ran
I
shot.
hijacked his interview.
Yeah. You came in, just Captain Phillips did. It's like,
100
this is
yeah.
my interview now.
I am the CEO now.
Look at me. Sydney just immediately.
Yeah.
Mine.
Come on, right here. Come on, you and me, guy.
Dude, that's so funny. And then there's just some random girl just like, he's it. You know what I mean? Just like seeing you off in the distance.
Yeah. How are you in job interviews?
Pretty good. I don't know the last time I even interviewed for a job. A big one, I think the last one that was like a really big one that was like multiple, I think it was 2 interviews, was JP Morgan. And that one I had a blast on because I completely lied on my resume.
No.
So I was working at it. Yeah, I was working as an analyst at this one job, and they were moving locations like up to Harrisburg, and I wasn't ready to move. So my buddy who lived in Delaware at the time was like, "Yo, JP Morgan's hiring," and I was like, "So?" You know what I mean? Like I had like $8 in my bank account. I knew nothing about money. He was like, "Just go apply." I was like, "All right." So I worked up this resume, and they called me. They're like, "Can you come in?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was sitting there kind of laughing the entire time, like, you guys are idiots. And then they were like, "We'd like to have you back for a second interview." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I came back for a second interview, which was basically me just confirming I'd take the job. And I just remember being like, "Dude, I work at JP Morgan now. This is insane."
Wait, you got to explain it to me because I cannot imagine
Yeah.
the power you felt
Oh my
in that
God.
interview knowing you lied on your resume.
I felt so good driving home. I was like, "This is it. I'm the best ever, dude." And that all went away quick when they were like, "Here's your job." I was like, "I have no idea what any of this means."
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, on your resume." I'm like,
They didn't ask you anything to like
Yeah.
about your resume. Like you didn't have
they
to.
did, and like,
Yeah, you just talked
yeah,
right
and
through
like,
it.
I remember my older brother was like, "Dude, just shoot low." You know what I mean? I was like, "Definitely." I'm like, I'm interning at Oxford for a summer. I don't know what the fuck I put on that thing.
They were like, "How much do you want to start for a salary?" He was like, $32,000.
Yeah, dude. Oh, dude. I was
take
like
'em.
With this
25,000.
resume, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and some benefits. But yeah, it was crazy. Like I remember bringing home the contract you have to sign was like this thick, and my dad was just like shaking his head laughing. Like, "I don't know what you put on the resume, but they're gonna find you out quick." I was like, "All right, dude, we'll see."
I mean, that's
What
really-
happened when you couldn't do anything when you started
That's the thing.
work?
I learned the job very
You learned
quick.
it?
The
Okay.
job they had put me in was almost like a data entry job, very low level, but I was making solid money, full benefits, all this shit. And I picked up on it really quick. And then there was an opening in the one department, which is ADR, which stands for American Depository Receipts, which is basically you play middleman between European and American trades. So I worked with all the Nordic countries at the time. So all I did was and these are $1 million trades. And I'm like, making sure that one side has what they need, the other side has what they need. And the whole time, I'm like, I lied the fuck out of that resume, dude. This is awesome. And the whole time, I was like, I know I'm going to ruin someone's company on, like, run, wrong, click. I know it. And luckily, the only thing that took me out of that job was in '08 when the housing market crashed. That was it. Like, I got...
You did it.
Thank God.
Dude, I swear to God, there was guys jumping out of Goldman Sachs, and I was like, yes,
wait,
dude, this is over.
Are you implying that 6 was responsible for the housing market?
I know. I mean, hey, the timeline
Is
matches
that what
up.
you just implied?
It was getting too tense. You needed an out.
I never dealt with any of the mortgage
One
fund
wrong
stuff.
click.
Yeah.
Dude, I bet you, I for a split second when it all started collapsing, I was like, did I do that, dude? Did I just fuck over America?
That's pretty
Yeah,
sick.
but no, and then I hung on because our department really had nothing to do with the mortgage stuff. So I stayed on for like till almost like 2009, and then they finally cut our department. They were firing like 10,000 people a day during that time, and
How many rounds of fires did you make it?
a lot, way too many, dude. Dude, like 7.
Dude, did it get
I
to a
was like
point where like, are
eighth-
they setting me up?
I was just like waiting. Like I would just come in with my desk packed. Like, let's go.
Taking it every day back and forth.
I mean, dude, I made it through everything. I was on the phone with whatchamacallit? The morning they got what's his name? For the Ponzi scheme.
Madoff?
Madoff. So
Yeah.
Bernie, we've dealt with Madoff a ton, Madoff Investments. So my buddy, I called him that morning. I was like, yo, dude, rough morning. He's like, oh, yeah. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe you even picked up. He's like, dude, we can't leave the building. I was like, are you serious? He's like, no, the feds are in the building. I'm about to crack open a 23-year-old bottle of scotch that I've had. It was 8 in the morning. He
This
was
is
like,
your buddy that worked at Madoff
that worked at Madoff.
Investments?
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit, that's
And I was
crazy.
like, damn, dude. He was like, yeah, dude, they hiring over there. I was like, I don't know. How good are you at lying on resumes, dude?
That's how we all got
I'll
this
pass
job.
along your resume, kid.
Dude, nobody in finance is telling the truth.
No.
Oh, God,
No.
no. No. And when you meet, like, the brokers, like, when I was going up to New York, like, up to their office and back and forth, dude, you hang out with those guys, they're just gamblers with ties. They're maniacs.
And they'll do like fucking seminars on how they got good at business.
Yeah.
They're like, this is what you do. This is what you do. It's like, no, Adderall and Coke.
Yeah.
It's mostly Coke, dude. There's a ton of Coke, like a lot. But yeah.
Our economy is being run by Coke.
Yeah, dude. It's all cokeheads.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, man. So again, we're at Two Jack Bros. You know what this is. So 6, if you don't know what we do here, what we do is, Ainsley and I are trying to reach a higher consciousness, but we don't want to stop being who we are as people.
Sure.
So we're just trying to siphon as much as we can from all of like the inappropriately funny people that we know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, we'll just steal a little bit from them and just put it in our bank, and we'll just become these fucking enlightened creatures.
I like the lineup you have. So far, you have McCusker, Butthole, now me. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
You're picking from the top
'Cause
fruit there.
I don't want to make no mistake about what we're trying to do here.
Oh, I understand it completely now.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just hop into it. And the first question I like to ask is, what situation or experience gave you the most information?
In what? Just in general?
However you want to answer that question.
Gave me the most information. I have no idea. I don't even know what that question means.
Because if I had to say,
What did McCusker say?
do you remember what he said?
It was probably like a 10-point answer. I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, he had brought a flow chart.
He was like, I'm glad you asked that. Now.
What would you say?
I think having kids,
Okay.
just like it changes, because it's that shift that everybody talks about where now you're like, okay, I've got to keep this human alive. You know,
Sure.
like,
Yeah, that's a real big hit.
yeah.
Huh. Okay. What about you?
Honestly, I think it was getting hit by the car.
Okay.
It was like, dude, you got to look both ways.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
But no, it made me realize like how careless I was being in life, and that being careful wasn't a matter of like dorkiness. It can be really important.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, one was my senior year of high school, there was a bad car wreck and these girls died. There was 5 of them died all in a car
wow.
wreck. It was horrible. But I was actually in that car that morning. It was my neighbor, Lauren, I'd get rides off her sometimes, and that morning I was in that car, and then me and like two of my buddies were the last to see. They stopped by my house to like get weed or something, and then they left, and like 2 hours later they died. So we were the last ones to see them.
That's like a lot of
Absolutely.
kids from a high school to.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was rough.
I do like how you glossed over like to get weed or something. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would do that. Or,
I threw it in there.
yeah, but no,
We had nothing to do with the accident. It was good weed.
yeah, so, yeah, but no, that's so they were good friends of yours.
They're brothers. Two of them had brothers I'm very close with. Yeah, so that was rough, and it was like, you know, when you're that age, that's a huge hit of reality. It's like, holy Christ, and it's like then it becomes real because it's like I was just talking to them, and now they're dead, and it's like, you know, and then the worst was like after that there was like a series of close friends that died for me. There was like, I don't think I missed a year for like 6 years.
Yeah.
man.
After graduation. There was like till I was like, you know, 25 or something, like every single year up to there, I had somebody pass away that was very close to me.
That's wild because
Yeah, I was the mush
one of
for
the
a minute.
things that we all have when we're young, like every time we all say goodbye to each other when we're young, we could also be saying like we're all gonna live forever, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
that is how like that. We're all hanging out with that energy. We're all
Yeah.
like feeding off that energy from each other, and to be seeing people in your personal life like leaving the earth forever
Yeah.
is wild.
And to deal with it with that such of an impact when you're that young is like, whoa, how am I supposed to handle this? You know what I mean? Like, it's nuts. And then you go to the viewings and it's like 5 towns are there. It's like insane. It's like, whoa, I actually had to deal with this now. And that sucks.
Yeah.
For any kid.
What helped you in those situations?
Being with, you know, my group of friends who I was with, you know what I mean? Also, I didn't really hang out that much because I was skateboarding a lot. So I was in the city a lot. I was at Love a lot. So I would just leave. That was a big thing for me, which I don't regret. But at the same time, I kind of do because that was kind of like, I escaped that way. I would like see it because none of the kids I hung out with down there would, you know, they wouldn't be skateboarding at Love Park or Temple or Drexel Line, whatever, fucking on a Saturday. So I'd be by myself with a whole group of friends that they didn't know. And I could act like, for a few hours, this is my reality. I don't have to deal with that shit yet.
Damn, what was your go-to line in skateboarding?
Fall? No.
You know what a line is?
No, I didn't. But is
Oh,
it your move?
A go-to line?
No, tell me what you think a line is in skateboarding.
I thought it was like your move.
That's it? Just one move? A line?
For a lot of skaters, just doing coke.
Yeah,
That's a line.
just mostly coke. No, it's you know, just like your like what is your...
I liked going out at
Hello?
Love when Love Park was there. I used to love like, and you guys have both seen Love when it was there. It's like those 4 steps that go out onto 15th, like right there. I used to love doing. So the ledge is right where the Love sign was. The one to the left is the main ledge. That's what they used to call it. And the other one's the other ledge. So I'd hit the main ledge, then the other ledge, come around, flat ground trick, and then do something off the steps into the street. It just looked good at the time because everybody was using fish lenses on their camera, so it looked like you went really far. You didn't, but it did on the lens, so it looked sick.
So I'm not even going to lie to you. I've been trying to piece together through context clues what a line was, and that solidified it.
That was the line.
and that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty sick. All right, so how did you learn to overcome fear?
A lot had to do with skating. And it was like, you know, some of the shit that we were doing, you just didn't think about it because you would get so hyped up that one of your buddies did it. It was like, well, that fear's gone because now I'm the asshole that can't do this. So I have to do it. I don't want to be in this category of people that didn't do this trick. And, you know, looking back on it, we're idiots. We were completely morons. But, like, you know, like the love gap is one of the most dangerous things to do, which was from the love gap is from where the love sign was into the fountain when the fountain was dried out. You would
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Problem is when that fountain is dried out, it is like ice. It was so slick. Like it was like you had to hit perfect or you were fucked.
Yeah.
And I used to have, my mom probably still has video of it, but like, man, there's a couple times where I'm watching, like, I should be dead. That was so bad. Like, just launching off. It was just an idiot.
I'm a little curious about these skateboarding clicks. Like, what was your Like, what was your role in those groups? You know, and also try to like explain to me what the
You would have been very proud. I was very cocky, like very. I remember like talking to dudes afterwards, like, dude, we fucking hated you. I was like, fuck you, dude. And dude. I was like, you come in with that attitude, but you're stupid and young, and like, I remember there was a couple times where there was a couple guys I kind of snaked, which means like, you go in front of them. And I was like, fuck, these dudes are taking forever. And I just snaked. And people were like, dude, you better go hit Wendy's for a couple hours, dude. Do not sit here. They're going to fuck you up. I was like, yeah, right, dude. And then you'd see them like beat the shit out of somebody with a skateboard. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get a burger or something.
Did anybody ever try to come fight you?
Not me. Luckily, I kind of settled in with the crew guys that were pretty much running that place at the time. We got respect from most of the older guys, but I saw some really bad fights there, like really fucking bad. It was like that scene. Have you ever seen Kids?
Yeah.
That scene in Washington Square Park, that was in every Saturday thing at Love. I've seen multiple people take the butt end of a skateboard to the face multiple times. Bums. A lot of bums.
Yeah, we're just testing their metal, or like why were they attacking?
Just getting in the way, and
yeah.
like you gotta remember, it was like fucking Thunderdome there for years. Like cops would show up, they would just be like, "Hey, get the hell out of here!" You'd leave for 20, 30 minutes and come right back. That was all it was. No one policed us that much until Street got in the office and kind of made everything illegal.
I think I would be known for doing most of my moves off bums.
Off bumps.
Yeah,
that was the thing. We used to lift up the
bumps.
tiles. We used to lift up the tiles at Love and prop them up, and that was like a little kicker.
Yeah,
that was fun. We used to do
line
that.
up all the bums and see how many you could jump over.
Oh, bums! I thought you said bumps.
No, the bums.
Yeah. Oh, dude. There's a couple times. Oh man, there's footage of it somewhere. You can probably find it on YouTube. There were people who went right into a bum. Like there used to be these mentally challenged Hare Krishnas.
Yeah.
I swear to God. They had nothing to do with the religion. They would just dress like that. So, and they were, not all there. And dude, there's footage of Rick Oyola Rick Oyola kind of ran Love Park. Like he was scary, dude. But nice guy, amazing skater. Dude, he used to lose his mind. And he did the hardest Jersey accent. So, like, what do you think? I'm some kind of dork? I'm from Jersey. And I'm like, but man, he was a beast. But yeah, there's video of him freaking out because he was eyeing over. Remember the metal trash cans?
Yeah.
So that was a big thing where you'd lift a tile as a kicker, go over the trash can, and Rick was trying to film something, and it was on its side, the trash can, and the Hare Krishna guy would come over and just lift it up.
Hare Krishnard, but yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Nailed it. He kept lifting it up and like dragging it, and finally Rick comes flying. He's like, "What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Come on, quicker! What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm moving the thing over here." He's like, "Well, get your fucking..." He's freaking out. Finally, this black woman's right behind him, like, "Hey, you don't gotta talk to him like that." He's like, "Shut the fuck up." She's like, "What? Why are you talking to him like that?" And he said something. She's like, "I asked you a question." He's like, "I gave you a fucking answer." I was like, that's one of the dudes I snaked when I first started, like, terrified.
Yeah. Dude, like, that's like, don't fucking set off black women, dude. Like, what are you doing?
He didn't give a, Oil never gave a fuck. He was a beast.
Yeah.
He was so good. I mean, he was really good, too, to watch, but he was intense, man. And it was like, that was the dude. So I knew my role real quick when I started seeing him, like, oh, he's about it. Like, he'll do it. Like, he'll just crank somebody in the head.
That's pretty sick. So, all right. So the next question. Oh, by the way, that is the first chakra. That's the butthole chakra.
Okay.
Right. It deals with survival and shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You seem good on your butthole chakra.
Okay. Is that good?
I think it's pretty solid. I think most comedians kind of have to have an open butthole in
Sure.
order to like do comedy well.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
You can tell the people that are up there with their buttholes just fucking soldered.
I
shut.
don't think there's anybody in our crew that could be like that. I mean, some of the comments that come in, it's like, Jesus, some of these dudes got some real personal issues going on, but it's like, all right, dude, whatever. Teach their own. But like, you got to be like, all right, whatever, man, and move on.
I would put it on the table and say, per butthole, we had the most wide open buttholes of any crew.
It's a
how
very
you get in
wide
your
ass.
crew.
Yeah. If we have a caliber.
Yeah, you measure. That's what happens when you guys go to poker night. You're like checking.
Oh, dude.
Like,
especially at poker night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're Del Calo, you gotta
Nobody
have a
would be able to
wide.
hang out at our poker night if
Oh
we had
my-
a fucking closed but it's tough.
Yeah.
Our poker night.
Yeah,
It would
it's-
be. It's fun, but if you were sensitive,
yeah.
it would be a tough night.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, one example I'd always tell you, it's like, dude, you want to play in that game? Just ask Del Calo. When he showed up with that shirt, with the dancing bear shirt, we were all dude, it was bad. I knew he was done. I was like, R.I.P., bro. He took off this jacket, he had this T-shirt on. I was like, gee, it was like, just gone. Everybody got in his ass.
He ended up taking it off.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was better
during
that
poker,
way.
He took it off.
yeah, he had to take it off. It was that bad.
Yeah. All right, Brian. So the next one, what we're doing is we're going up. We're going up the chakra chain,
Okay.
right?
What
And,
is the chakra? Sorry, what is that?
Okay, this is two Jack Bros. This is a little bro sciencey over here.
Yeah,
You know, it's.
I like it.
So all of our information comes from Avatar: The Last Airbender for the most part, unless
Yeah.
you know a little more chakra information than I do.
You go. I'll add where I can.
I'm done.
that's it.
This is where you jump in. That's why I tagged you in.
You tagged me in.
Yeah.
So they're like your energy centers on your body,
Okay.
all the way up, and it helps energy flow, and so when the energy can flow, you can connect into like the other parts of the universe, or like those spiritual places that we sometimes get disconnected from.
Sure.
And for us, it would be the zone. You know what I mean?
AutoZone.
Get in it, baby.
Yeah, dude.
Get in it.
That place is sweet.
But like to be able to like go in and out of, like when you're on stage and you're just flowing,
Sure.
and just to be able to access that sort of that moment, the moment of flow, more readily.
Okay.
You know.
Where you're at your like calmest, but
Yeah. And I'm just
Very comfortable.
That's what I'm trying to be in life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
trying to be
absolutely.
in a constant state of flow in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're going through the different energy centers of your body.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can open up and have the energy flow there, like you can reach your enlightenment.
Sure.
Right?
And it's like years ago, people that had more time on their hands to think about this stuff realized that these things are like these centers are associated with different parts of your body, and you can feel like, for example, like when you're fearful, you squeeze your butthole tight.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, so as we go up, you'll notice these things
Yeah.
kind of connect, right? So this one is it deals with like pleasure and guilt. This is as far as we get when we do it by ourselves because we get so sidetracked. you know?
Okay.
But this is our segment called My Bad, where you just get out an apology to any person, place, or thing that you might be harboring something for, just to set your energy back to neutral.
And this is like your pelvis chakra. So like, like when you feel like, oh, you're like, shit, I fucked up, like that feeling you get
Yeah.
down in there.
Ugh, I haven't had one of those in a while. I know exactly what you're talking about too, and it's funny you bring this up because there's a couple people where I'm like, man, why don't they just be like, yo, I fucked up? And it's like, yeah, dude, move on. Everyone's been there. It sucks, but whatever.
Like people in your personal life that you couldn't really name right now, or
Yeah, people in like
Yeah, yeah.
personal life that I wouldn't want to name, but also like, also people like from like my family. It's like, there's certain people that just did shit. It's like, dude, just fucking man up. No one cares.
to apologizing is the hardest thing to do, but when you do it, it makes life so fucking easy.
It is. It's a very good, I think that's a thing that's very good to bring you into reality where it's like when you actually do it, it's not even that, it's never as bad as you think. But
No.
it's it's way worse to even work up the energy to do it because it's like, this guy's going to hate me. And then they're like, yeah, dude, that's all you had to say. Good, let's move on. Nobody cares. I'm not one to hold grudges like that.
Yeah. Do you have any from recent memory? Maybe can help jog Six's memory?
Well, mine from this week was when I yelled at a guy on the phone, like a work person.
Why? Is he bad at his job? Do you lie on his resume?
He sent us. We're building something at school. He sent us his product. It's not working, and he just calls and he keeps like he'll be having a conversation with like the one person, be like, if he doesn't like how it's going, he's like, I've got to go, and he'll call somebody else and be like, me and so are not getting along. Like how? Like you're a
That's like
grown
a
human with a
14-year-old.
yeah, and he's like nobody's being helpful to me, and people are messing with my thing, and like I had a whole conversation with him. I was just like, I just want this fixed, and then he called back again, and he was being rude, and I just like lost my mind for a
Yeah,
minute.
he's trying to flip you immediately because he knows he messed up.
Yeah.
So he's like,
Yeah.
yo, she is attacking me. It's like, well, your product doesn't work. He's like, how dare you?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, well, dude, you
It's like,
fucked
whoa,
up,
whoa,
not
whoa,
me.
We're not gonna be calling each other out. We're doing
It's
that
like,
now.
what'd you say
We're
about
doing
my
that
mom?
now?
It's like, what?
Yeah.
We're gonna be immature now.
Yeah.
And you know, like I like to stay kind of like even tempered.
Sure.
He got me heated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like-
do not like to stay even tempered.
I know. Yeah, you of all people.
you know me.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, even though this is, because I guess I didn't do this segment, but I will offer an official apology to the people at CVS that called the cops on me.
I
the
think
other
you've
day.
been missing your my bads.
Yeah, I
that
have
should be
been,
like
I
a
have been.
life
Whoa.
activity.
The cops called on you at CVS?
Yeah, I got escorted out of the CVS by
Yes.
cops over a vaccine situation.
What, were you just handing out literature?
No, man.
You and Billy and Spud out front. It's like, you
Dude, War
idiots.
Mode, shout out
War
War
Mode,
Mode, baby. Yeah, no, it was. No, they would have been proud of me though. I promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds like.
But it was just terrible customer service with getting me the vaccine. And the whole point that I was making is, if this vaccine was so fucking important, you guys wouldn't be messing up all this stuff.
Sure.
You know, and it was, they couldn't handle hearing the truth.
No, not most people cannot.
And they called up a couple local cops that I've had some other dealings with before.
They're like, Sydney, come on, dude. It's like
You-
10 a.m.
Yeah.
It was a cop showed up that I challenged to a fight in my yard.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'd also like to apologize to that cop.
Did you reissue the challenge?
No, we were on good terms because I was right about.
I've been thinking
Yeah.
you went face to face on too, like the rematch, dude. It's like, well, the first one never happened, Sydney. Get out of the pharmacy. You're like, all right. My yard's still waiting. You're ready, dude.
No, he was like they were honestly on my side. They showed up and they were like, "Yeah, this is fucking dumb."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like making them laugh.
Calling the cops is kind of extreme too for that situation. I mean, was it though? Were you full Sydney? Were you
Yeah,
full?
did
Were
you
you at a
actually-
10, Sydney?
Yeah.
Or?
Dude, I was dealing like I was at a 10, but at a 10 the way I deal with hecklers.
Let me ask you this: how close were you to choking someone out like it was an open mic? Which
No,
has
not
happened.
even close. Yeah. He attacked me. He attacked me. So anyway, now that you saw us do it, you got any apologies?
You know what I do? I have an apology for Kyla, for my girlfriend.
hell
'cause
yeah.
I was but I was not. She was sick this past. She caught what I had, which was like it's just a cold bronchitis thing, and
Yeah, we're vaccinated.
yeah, no, and I wasn't because she's so overly caring when anybody, you know how
Yeah.
she is, but I am not at all. Like my family, it's like drink some juice, get a shower, go to bed. It's like, all right, that's good, thank you, mom. And for her, I kind of did the same thing. Where I was like, get a shower while I'm playing NHL. You know what I mean? I'm out playing Warzone or something. Just like, you'll be good. I'll order a Go Puff. And just, I wasn't really there. She called me out on it a couple times, which I tried to make up for it. But I mean, one was like third period, like 30 seconds left. I'm down one. It's horrible timing. Horrible timing on her part.
And
So,
by the way, there are only 3 periods in hockey.
yeah, like
I
this
know.
is playoffs too.
Sports.
Yeah, and I'm on Minnesota Wild. They're not great. I'm bringing them to the Cup, so it was an intense time. And hitting pause during that time. Anybody who plays video games knows that feeling. Like, dude, if I lose this momentum,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, now, like once we get through all of this and you become enlightened, you'll be able to go in and out of the zone whenever
I
you want
hope
to.
that'd be nice.
You know?
But you couldn't do like whatever she needed. You couldn't do the next in 30 seconds.
I think it was more or
you
less
didn't-
like I should have known. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't just acting on my own, as opposed to like having her tell me what was it. And obviously, that's not
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Are
yeah.
you trying to say, calm down, bitch, to Kyla?
No.
No, she's saying.
No, I'm wondering. I'm like, okay, what did you like? What did she
Exactly.
need that you didn't do? That was like, why couldn't you? No, I'm saying, why didn't you get off your ass after the
Exactly.
period was over?
I mean,
and
that's
do it?
why I'm
Yeah.
I should have, like,
Yeah.
and afterwards, it's like that thought crosses your mind. It's like,
Yeah.
why didn't I just get up, or why didn't I just go get her food or order food or something? And yeah, I would just like pop my head in and be like, "You good?" and fucking, back
Shut the
to
door
game.
before
Yeah.
she answered.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shut the door before she woke up. Yeah.
Yeah. I checked on her.
Yeah. That was good. But in my head, I was like, "That's good for the night." I
Yeah.
think.
That
So-
felt good, didn't it? Getting that
Yeah,
apology
it's
out?
nice.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
It's nice because I knew I was in the wrong. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
should have been more active to help her because she got delayed with work, and like, her work obviously is an everyday, minute by minute thing. She runs social media for comics, so it's like she has to be on the ball. She has to see what's happening. She has to have her finger on the pulse, and but
And you gave
she's
it
good.
to her too.
What's that?
She caught the cold from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
we all remember that.
I know. I really did. It's funny. That's a good point because I really did. I was like, look, you're sick. Ugh. You know what I mean?
And, like all last week, she was just like doing everything for you, like army crawling
Oh
into
my
the room,
God.
make sure she can
Yeah.
wake you up to like give you stuff.
She's floating around like a geisha. I don't know what the hell's going on. But like, yeah, dude, like I was not. Yeah, it was funny because I was just like, you look, you and your weak ass immune system need to get a shower, get some juice.
Man. Okay, so great apology, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
That felt cathartic. You know what
Yes.
I mean, that looked good. That looked, and so, what situation in your life, or when do you remember being the most disappointed in yourself, and then how did you move on past that disappointment?
And this is like right under your belly button, like your gut.
Most disappointed. I don't know. I give me examples. I get going when you guys tell me.
Okay, well, so
Let me hear your failures.
yeah. I'm like, I know people, like, I do think it's funny the way that I do flip out on people and the way that I'm willing to.
I also
to do
think it's
what I do.
hilarious.
It's hilarious, but it's embarrassing.
Sure. Like at the end of the day, it's like, come on.
Yeah. I'm always like, I'm a little disappointed in myself sometimes. And some, like, so I'm also very good at evoking that out of people.
Okay.
So like as much as I'm willing to blow up, I can make somebody blow up. At
Oh
me,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, you can. You're
and
good.
I felt I was a little disappointed with the way that I handled. I got a teacher fired.
What?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I made her blow up on me to the point that she got fired.
I thought, dude, I did
In
not see that
in the
coming.
90s
yeah,
too.
no
Oh,
shit.
okay.
Yeah, it was like it was.
I thought you meant this was like the other day. Like you were just walking around the high school.
1998, I got a teacher fired. It was like I'm a little. The more I look back on that, the more I'm disappointed that I didn't walk away and not allow that situation to escalate.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, it's. I mean, wait. So you just kept, rubbing her or him the wrong way, and then finally they freaked out, and then what happened?
No, I just kept my face there with like and didn't change.
You could have just walked away.
Yeah, if I would have walked away, it would have
Sure.
ended it.
Yeah.
But like because I just stayed there with my unchanged expression,
You and your face.
She needed to get a reaction out of me, and she just kept going deeper and deeper and harder. She called me a fucking faggot,
Whoa.
and then like accused me of fucking specific dudes in the school.
Oh,
Like,
so she just lost it.
she absolutely
Wheels were
lost
off.
it completely.
Damn.
And I just sat there just like, just
Just knowing that there's no tenure in your future.
yeah,
You're done.
yeah. But I'm like, it's a little disappointing. Like I should have.
Have you ever tried to find that teacher?
Oh, she's living perfectly fine. She didn't even need that job at the time.
Yeah, fuck her.
Her son plays in the NBA.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
shout out Cam Reddish from the Atlantic Hawks.
Oh, no
Atlanta
shit.
Hawks. Yeah, that's her son.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I got your mom fired, Cam.
Dude, that would be
she-
so funny.
Yeah.
He's probably held a grudge for you forever.
Nah, his dad made a lot of money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like,
what
they
does
was like-
dad do?
I think he might be in finance, lying on resumes and shit.
Yo, good for him. Cokehead liar, dude. I love it.
Nah, but it was whatever. And again, like black excellence couple, But he was like she was at. You could tell while she was at that job, like she dressed in like Gucci every day.
Ah, okay.
Like she had way more money than any
Yeah.
of the other teachers. At
So
the job,
was the job more of a hobby?
basically,
I mean, what did you do to get her to that point?
she was my. For my graduation product, she was my faculty mentor.
Okay.
And I was doing, I wanted to do a talent show and have all these different talents, and I was going to host it
Yeah.
and do a little time,
Yeah.
And we had
What,
all,
stand up?
Yeah, I was gonna,
Okay.
yeah. I was mostly going to improv in the night.
Okay.
I had a couple jokes and I was
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to talk to people, and then we had all sorts of different acts, like acoustic guitar acts, like magicians, like step teams, and a rapper, and eventually she wanted to just turn it into a hip hop show.
Okay.
You know, meanwhile, all these people were showing up to practice. Like we had to rent out the middle school to practice twice a week, and you know, we were doing all this stuff. And we had to fundraise for the money to rent out, do a lot of work. And then with 2 weeks left, she was like, "This should just be a hip hop show."
She just wanted the 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we got in an argument there, and I was like, no.
Did you take it to the mics? That's what you should have done. You should have
Yeah.
rabbited her.
Yeah.
Dude, I should have freestyle rap battled her.
Yeah, that's what you should have
decide
done.
where to
You're
go.
good at
Should've.
freestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have fucked her up.
Yeah. Were you
Dude.
good back then?
Yes. And nobody knew. Like nobody knew I was good at that. Nobody
Yeah.
would have guessed.
I
in a
didn't know
million
until
years.
you started
Yeah.
doing it and winning that show. I was like, damn, Sydney's really good at this.
It's so funny to me. I think it's funny that I'm good at freestyle rapping. It's
Really?
hilarious. And I call it freestyle rapping, just like that.
I know. Yeah, dude. That's not what you call it.
But yeah, so no, I mean, you know, I was like, I basically like gave her a hard no at the rehearsal and was like, and then went on this speech about all the hard work that everybody was putting in.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like, okay, it seems like she could have been a little bit more lenient with that when you told her about all the work that went into this stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't.
Sydney's obnoxious.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't say.
There's no way.
Like the way he says no,
Oh,
makes
yeah.
you want to punch him in the
Please.
face. Like,
You kidding me? You ever see this guy win a poker hand?
yeah.
It's like, I was like,
Yeah.
why? Ric Flair strutting. It's like, dude, it's one hand. You won $4.
$4 is a lot of money.
I mean, in our case,
by the
dude,
way, it's a lot of money.
You might have to buy back in after that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anything, you know, just do you have anything that you can think of as disappointment?
Probably be that I felt like there was times when I wasn't a good friend to people.
Yeah.
And like that always, you know, leaves a nasty feeling.
Yeah.
Because you can't go back and redo that, you know?
Refriend.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's just like, you know.
I think I would definitely disappointed, and there's a couple times that stick out that I knew I could have been better. I didn't take situations, especially in comedy, as serious as I should have, and
Okay.
that sucks. And
Whoa, you just opened up a whole new
oh yeah,
Pandora's box.
it's like you don't, but it's like almost like, you know, you get thrown into these situations and you don't really understand the level of like, whoa, this could actually help out really big. You just look at it like, ah, fuck it, we're doing this, and then you look back at it like, fuck, man, I should have taken that way more serious and put more work into it. But I don't know. Then there's times where I just go off the cuff and it ends up being really good stuff. You know what I mean? But you always want to be, I don't know.
I know what you mean.
You can't bank on that all the time.
Yeah. And it's in a good. I mean, one of the things about this particular chakra is like the whole point is to not linger in disappointment,
Right.
You know, because you can't. You can't go back. You did your apologies. You know, we're good. We moved on.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say that's an open
Yeah.
chakra, right?
Yeah.
I think we're 3 for 3 so far. Right?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so this one, handle it however you want to handle it.
All right.
Right. Like I would say, what have you learned from grief?
Not to hold on to it for that long, to get past it quick. Not quick, but like there's been times where, you know, I've literally had to just pick myself up and been like, what are you doing? Like, this isn't, you know, the grief time is over. You got to move on. And it kind of goes back to like holding a grudge of not, you know, with the apology thing we were just doing. But with grief too, it's like a lot of things, I used to put a lot of pressure on myself, especially with like sports or anything like that. And if it didn't happen, I would be, you know, mad. I would be upset.
1 second. What sport did he play?
I was thinking that. So I was like, so we know you're a skateboarder.
He was good, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, really good at it. What sport was he really good at?
I'm leaning towards soccer, but then like skateboard makes me want to think that like it might have been something, but like I don't know. I feel like you could have been a surfer or something. I'm going to go with soccer.
You're going to go with soccer? Okay. All right. Ah, fuck. I thought you were almost going to get it because when you were like, but we're in, I thought you were going to talk about the region we were in and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. But for the I think what you excelled at the most, though, was hockey, right?
No, I never played organized hockey in my life. I was waiting to see how you finished that because you said soccer. I was like, yep.
Yeah, it was soccer?
Soccer and baseball.
Baseball. That's what it
Baseball,
was.
yeah.
Okay.
But soccer was really, that was the one I started playing when I was like 5. And I was on like 2 teams all the time. Yeah. Soccer. I loved. And
Good job, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
it was hockey.
Yeah.
That's so great. You're like, oh, I thought you were going to get it. I'm like, she did.
Yeah. But didn't you also try out for the Flyers?
Okay. I did not.
Oh, okay. He's like,
No.
I've never played.
I did not try. I mean, okay. That's a whole nother fucking chapter.
All right, yeah, we'll get it.
That's
yeah,
that's a whole thing.
Check out.
They didn't know I was trying out.
No. You lied on your resume. You just show up.
Pretty much. Yeah. I was just coked up for 2 days shooting rocks in a parking lot, and I was like, they'll see my power.
Absolutely. So yeah, check out You Fucked It.
Yeah.
Six's podcast with Ryan Shaner, man, and that story's on there. You'll go
I've
in,
told
like,
it on
catch up.
multiples.
It's
I told it on Matt and Shane's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So check
that's
out
where a lot of people
Brian.
heard it.
Well, you can check out one of Brian Six's appearances on Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. Shout out Matt and Shane, right? So, what? How did you learn to let go of these things?
Because then it's like you think, especially when you're younger and you put all that pressure on yourself with sports or whatever it is, it's like you put all this pressure on and then you're sad or you feel this grief because it didn't happen the way you thought. But then it's never as big as you think either.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's always so much bigger when you're younger. So I think that's what's great about comedy is that there's so much failure in it. It's like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Because people are like, it's my life's over. I'm like, it's not that bad, dude. See
Yeah.
me at the mic the other night? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you good? Is that an open chakra?
Yeah.
That's an open chakra.
Dude,
fuck it.
one of the most griefs I ever felt in comedy was early days of Raven when like Foley and Shaner and Kevin and all them guys were running it. And dude, I just remember I went up and it was like right when I started getting on like the second half. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I was like, yes, dude. Because back then, getting on the first half,
My choice.
getting on the first half at Raven was like was bigger than getting past at like the clubs at one point. The lineups were so solid. So I was like later in the second half and I didn't bomb, but like nobody gave a shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I get off stage and that was when Alex Grubard walked up to me with a piece of paper. It was like a business card and he was like, hey man, great set. I took some notes for you and walked away and I looked at it and it just said quit. This is Alex Grubard. People don't realize, like, he's so wacky and nice. I was like, yo, he's savage as shit. I remember driving home. Yeah, I had 9 fights with him in my head on the ride home. I was like, you little motherfucker, fuck this shit. You know?
That's so funny because, like, he did that because we were all talking. Like, we all noticed, like, when Six started to fucking get really good, it was like, holy shit, Six is getting really good. And we were all talking about him and shit. And then he did that.
Brought me right back down to where I should be. Dude.
Which is good, though. I mean,
No,
I feel
you need that. That's why it's
Yeah.
like it's a shame when I see comics or open micers when they're in the scenes and they don't get that because it's like, dude, get that shit out early because it makes you so much tougher when it comes to like feel like, dude, if you think this is a loss, wait till you get to a level where it's like, fuck.
Yeah. I feel like we're missing that with our youth the way we raise
Absolutely.
them right now, right? Like they need a boot camp. They need a time when it's like it's gonna suck and it's supposed to suck and you have to get through the suck.
Yes.
Yeah. They're like, no, life should never suck.
No,
for me.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
just skipping the
supporting.
suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they support each other at open mics, which is the weirdest thing to me. I'm like, how did you think digital graffiti started? It's like, that's what it was.
But it's like, don't force yourself to laugh.
No.
If you can go there and laugh genuinely, but just don't be making up laughter for bullshit
I
jokes.
had audience members come up to me I was telling you on Tuesday we were at Helium and I was yelling at those stupid girls that wouldn't stop talking, whatever. And these 2 audience members came up to me after the show, nice people, and they were just like, hey, thanks for saying something to them. Those girls were super annoying. We started talking, and dude, it was so nice to talk to them because they were like, you know, it's great because we love stand-up comedy. We like to come out and see new acts we've never seen before, and you know, I was like, yeah, it's just weird when like everybody's getting laughs. So he's like, nah, I don't do pity laughs. I was like, oh my God, it's so refreshing to hear that.
Yeah, it is from audience.
Yeah,
members.
because they don't understand how much damage they're doing for that comedian. It's like, that's not funny. Don't laugh at that.
Yeah, you just extended this shitty career by 3
Exactly,
weeks.
dude. Sydney could have got him fired.
That's good. That's a good grief chakra.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the heart.
Oh yeah.
You feel
Oh,
like your
that's
heart's
deep.
open now?
Yo, yeah, dude.
Yeah. That's I mean, that's like it's funny to me because like we always joke about how Six never changes his emotions, and he like, really got in grief in there. But like
that's a
never
weird thing.
changed
That
his
I got kind of
demeanor.
labeled. I got kind of labeled with that role of the no emotion thing. Where it's I'm sitting there and sometimes I'm like, yeah, I show. What are you talking about?
I agree, but I feel like you're not fazed by the fact that you're showing emotions.
No. I think because, like I said early on, there was a lot of like a grief or like that shocking levels that like kids at that age aren't supposed to deal with. So it was like I kind of went through the ringer pretty early on, you know, and from there it's like, and I also grew up in a big family where it's like, you know, you get your balls busted into fucking sawdust every day. You know, I still do. So it's like I don't have a defense up. But I also don't waste my time with like feeling emotions or something where I'm like, grow up, would you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I think I kind of fell into our crew of friends because I'm like, this is like family. I love this.
It's the best. It is the best. It's so what is your overtime recently? It doesn't matter. You do get extra karma credits if it's one that's recent and you're just gonna give it up. But your favorite lie you tell, like a little white lie that you've told or tell.
And this is your throat chakra.
Ugh, what is a good one? Fuck. I'll think. Let
The
me
resume
think.
doesn't count.
Nah. That was my ultimate, though. I also didn't know that was going to lead to like a career. I was like, if anything, it's going to be an embarrassing interview, and I'm going to go home and be like, I didn't get it. But I don't know. Okay. At open mics, dude, when I first started going around, this is like when Noche was still around.
Yeah.
For some reason, I remember telling people I would go to the rave, and dude, I remember this specifically. I was there one night. It's like McKeever and Pope were on the first. Like Monroe was still around. It was Monroe. The night I was there, Monroe fucking murdered, and I was like, I should not be here yet. Because you also think like I'm gonna be up next because I signed up early and I signed up 12th, so I'm probably going up 12th. It's like, no, you're not. Yeah. You're going up at 3 a.m. in front of Foley passed out in the back, you know, and fucking Cassidy hitting on a drink girl. But I remember like coming out front, and I remember this clear as day. It was Heskey and Kevin Ryan, and I'd never talked to them ever. Yeah. And I looked at them and I said, dude, you guys on this mic? They're like, yeah. I was like, hey, can you cross my name off the list? I got a show down South Philly at like midnight. I said, I swear to God.
There were no shows in South Philly.
On a Thursday. So I said this because I didn't know who they were. The next week I saw Kevin host, and I was like, fuck me. But that wasn't the only time. I did that also, I think, at it was at Noche. It was the night Doogie Horner, first I think the only time I seen Doogie Horner shit-faced. And he was singing lounge songs, like lounge act songs, like old Sinatra bullshit, whatever. And everybody, any comic that went up was getting crushed. Yeah. And I mean crushed by everybody in the audience. And fucking, I did the same thing. I was like, dude, South Philly's got their show. So I'd lie about being on a show.
Dude, they're like 6
I definitely
South Philly.
I remember when we first started, and I remember like telling a couple like Missiano and God, like Dan King and like those kind of dudes, like Wood and all those guys when I first started. I remember they'd be like, yeah, we're doing this show, dude. Did you get booked on? I'm like, no, I got the show up in North Jersey. It was basically the version of like Canadian Girlfriend. Like I was doing that. Like, oh yeah, have fun at your show, whatever. I think I'm working with Louis tonight. I don't know.
This guy is constantly lying on resumes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you know what put it in reality, and I saw myself was when Foley and Cotton and all them left Raven and gave it to me and McCusker and Del Calo. And you start realizing how many fucking comics try to move up the list by like, yeah, I opened for Louis. I was like, don't do this. It does not end well, dude. Just speak your truth.
Yeah, I just got them killing at a show in South Philly.
Yeah, I was like, yo, you doing that show too? We're still doing that show?
That's awesome. That's my favorite lie so far.
That's a great
That's
one.
my favorite lie.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why I thought that. I would drive home being like, yeah, they got it, dude. And for some reason in my head, I thought I'd get bumped up because they're like, dude, he couldn't even do the mic. He had a show at midnight in South Philly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an open chakra.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Nice.
feeling it.
All hang
Yeah.
out. Yep.
All right. So now we're getting up into like the more cerebral shit.
Okay.
Right? Because as far as like the physiological enlightenment, I think you're pretty much there, right? So now, sorry, Ansley's yawning. We both did jujitsu today. Like
sorry.
it's tough. We normally record on Sundays, but she got a whole thing tomorrow, and so I'm apologizing to our fucking viewers
I know,
watching.
sorry.
These things are
Don't worry. Take a nap.
I think I'm paying for this free episode to watch you yawn. So and again, answer this however it makes sense to you. Like something that you thought was separate, but you realize is actually the same. Right? And an example I'll give is how once you start doing comedy for a while, you're like, comedy's kind of like life, or like one of those. So something that you're coming to learn are the same thing when before you thought they were separate.
I would, obviously with comedy. I mean, especially when when we moved into the old house, like it was me, Gillis, and McCusker and Wood, like I remember feeling like, all right, this is strictly comedy stuff. But then you start relating on like other levels where it's like, oh, dude, you guys are exactly like I could compare you to 3 of my other friends I grew up with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing, I don't know if this is the same thing. Okay. With, I used to get mad. Like, so when Shayna was drinking, it used to irritate the shit out of me. I mean, like at his height, I was like, you fucking suck at stand up when you drink. You just stink at life, really.
Yeah.
And I used to kind of project a lot of my anger that there was like nothing really to do with him, with his drinking. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's like, okay, so it's kind of like, I thought it was a completely separate thing, but it was kind of the same where it's like, he was struggling with, alcohol and everything, and I was kind of struggling with my frustration and just anger and just being a dick, on stage. Just like if what joke didn't work, I just immediately, not freak out, but like, fuck that, give up on shit. And it's like, whatever, that joke stinks. And it sucks because that's damaging. You know what I mean? It's like, that could have worked if you weren't a loser and you just freaked out. So I felt like it was kind of the same thing where when he started getting sober, I started calming down and seeing how good he is now. Like the other night when we did Cassidy's show up in New York on Wednesday, and that was like I was telling you, it was 200 days sober. And this is the sharpest I have ever seen him do stand-up since I met him, 9 years ago. And
he was a prodigy 8 or 9 years ago.
Oh, dude, he came on the scene quick. Yeah. Like got accepted into that whole Raven crew, and like, he was just getting past at the club. Like then he started drinking, and you'd see his sets, and it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. And I don't know what I'm saying, but like I guess it's like kind of the same where people would see me on stage and be like, dude, don't do that. Like O'Connor gave me great advice. Chris O'Connor, remember him saying, you got to stop. I got my phone out with like a set list. He was like, you got to get rid of that. Yeah. You're not a set comic. You are a fucking, one word look, if you have to look down, it's fine, but I'd get rid of that. You're the riff guy. When you're relaxed and yourself, you're the funniest dude up there. But when you start doing that structured bullshit, first of all, the crowd's not stupid. They see that shit. So I was getting angry, but then I started just putting my phone down with a timer. And like everyone else, I never did it. I used the set stuff as a crutch. And I haven't looked back since. And I always just have the timeout now. And I'm so much better. But I don't know. It's weird to overcome that because it's kind of the same fear of Shayna stop drinking. Yeah. He didn't take that serious. And a lot of people, comic friends and other, like Ian, who's sober, Soder, who's sober, they've talked to him. They're like, dude, it sucks, man. And you got to start accepting it. It's a big fucking deal. You have been an alcoholic for a very long time. So to stop drinking, stop thinking it's like, oh, I'm just going to quit drinking. Like I'm going to cut out, milk. It's like, dude, this is a thing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's kind of the same thing where I always thought my crutch could be that list on the phone and my anger and whatever. It's like, whatever, I'll keep moving. There'll be something around the corner. But then you start realizing how much shit opens up when you get rid of that stuff. Like Shayna getting rid of the alcohol. Because now that dude, I don't know who has seen him on podcasts lately or whatever, but I got him in, started doing the gas stuff with Lewis. Like, he just murders. He murders. The only time he was really silent, which I will defend him on this one, was when they did the live Legion of Skanks and he went mute because he smoked weed with Lewis beforehand. I go, first off, you don't smoke weed. So you went from the bottom to the top quick and you smoke with Lewis? He's just up there like, he looks like Scanners, if you ever seen that movie.
Dude, he was up there for like 15 straight minutes.
He did all right. You were there. Yeah, you were there.
And like, so I was like watching him. He was like just sitting up there dead silent, and I texted him and he looked at it and read, dude, you're killing right now.
He probably was thinking like he was having so many thoughts and he couldn't get out his mouth. He's like, I have in my head.
What didn't help was Kyla texting him in the middle of it. She wasn't even there, and him just looking down and just seeing a text from her said, yank your head out of your ass and start talking.
Yes.
But he's like, I bombed. I was like, well, technically, you didn't really say anything, so you can't bomb if you don't say anything.
No.
But, yeah, I don't know. So you see what I mean, though?
No, I do.
Am I on the same? Am I?
No, that at 100%.
No, yeah, that was a
that's
great
really-
answer. We were
that's-
just talking about how hard it is to like, as a person, to be able to see yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So like it just made me think of that because like you can see stuff in other people and what they need to do to
Yes.
fix themselves and this and that, and you're like they're so like, why can't they see this? But like we have, like
Yeah,
we're dealing with the same
I started
thing.
realizing I could relate that to them. It's like you got to drop that Mr. Cool bullshit when you're up. It's like you got to accept like, okay, this, that, and the other, because you're just gonna stay the same, and that's what was happening. Like anytime a structured, written out joke I had on my phone wasn't working, I was like, well, you guys are all stupid, not me, idiots.
Yeah, it kind of like the image in my mind is like you watching somebody in a boat that's sinking and they have like buckets that they can bail themselves
and you're
out.
like,
And you're like, why aren't they fucking? And your boat's also sinking.
yeah,
Yeah,
point
it's,
at
dude,
that
it's
person.
like it was like watching Shaner before while he was drinking, watching his sets. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't you. And then Wednesday night, I'm telling you, man, that was the first time I saw him recently, but
There's also still here. Now listen to this. This is gonna sound weird because, like, I always thought you were a really good comedian, and I don't think that it really takes. There has to be a turn in confidence, a turn in vision, like seeing yourself, honesty, where you can start actually being the comedian you are.
Yeah.
Right. And like in that time before when you're like, Shaner, he needs to get his shit together so he can like be that fucking great comedian that he was before. Meanwhile, like you're not even seeing like how great of a comedian you are.
that's exactly where I'm going with it.
yeah.
It's I'm not looking at what. Yeah, that's exactly my point. What I was trying to say.
Yeah, it's like, yo, dude, fix you. When I catch up to you, we'll be good. But it's like, no,
Yeah.
dude, you're already there. Too.
Yeah, and it's like,
yeah.
I'm just getting more frustrated because it's like I'm not focusing on what I definitely need to be for myself. I'm just looking at Shayna like, why are you such an idiot with this drinking? Cut the shit out. It sucks.
That's a really good answer.
Yeah.
That's like, how did that feel? Was that therapeutic? Like, did you feel like it changed you anywhere? Where did you feel?
No, I mean, I've been thinking that since he really started, because he'd always taken he's taken like a week here or 2 weeks there, and then he'd be like, oh, I'm just going to drink beer. I'm like, yeah, that's not how alcoholism works, but all right, dude, let's see how that pans out. Then, he headbutts a wall, and it's like, yeah, you're right back to square one. But it was
There's
like
so many walls with like Shaner face prints in them
Really?
across the city.
there is a column at
like a
Helium that has a
go-to
permanent
thing.
picture in front of it because Shaner put his head through it. The funniest part was when he had to jump up to headbutt it because he's only like 5'4". So because it's behind the bar,
Yeah.
he messied it. It was hilarious.
Is it funny for him when he does it, or is it anger? Like, what's
A mixture of
headbutts out
both. Like,
yeah?
I've been around him, and I won't go into details but like he's had breakdowns, and it's like, dude, I get it, man. And it's like that's reality in your ass. But I'm gonna ride you to the fucking top. I mean, dude, when we started, because it's like it's almost like seeing like Foley, where it's like when I first saw Foley, I was like, that's the kind of comic. He very relatable, like his jokes about his family and stuff like that, very relatable. When I saw Shaner, I was like, Jesus, this dude's a beast up there.
Yeah.
So I always had that thought. It's like you saw somebody, you're like, I know you're that good. This is clearly the problem.
Yeah.
But you never want to accept it. But
I mean, and on top of that, it's like good to see that a lot of the people that we came up with are like getting past their problems and stepping into their greatness, which is awesome to see.
yeah, because it's an easy thing to just let take over. It did for as long as I've known Shaner. It was it got really bad, but it's like, dude, this is ruining your life and mine, kind of.
Yeah. All right, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
That's the third eye. It's right here,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Opened up. I think we're almost fucking sitting in lotus and floating and shit.
Yes.
We're close.
I feel like at the end of this, I'm going to be an elephant with 6 arms. Dude. That's sick.
All right, so this is the last question,
Okay.
right? And so what is something that you feel like you couldn't give up, and why? And then what would it mean to give it up?
Stand up. I would never be able to stop doing stand up. I don't think there's no way. I have too much fun, especially now. It's like, dude, I have so much fun with it, and it's not. I don't know.
What do you think your life would look like without stand up? And keep in mind, this is like,
it's terrifying.
yeah,
Like to think about going back to or doing a normal life. It's like, nah, you're past that. And not meaning like I've earned it. I just mean mentally. It's like I just don't want to do that. I know for a fact I cannot do that.
there's a point of no return.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I hit it. It's like, fuck that. I'm done. And
How did you start stand up? Like,
I
how
watched
old were
Anthony
you?
Jeselnik bomb. one
Yeah.
night at Helium. I
Were
swear to
you
God.
hanging out at comedy clubs though? Like that was like
No, not really. Like I always wanted to do stand up, and people would always, especially at JP, dude. I was a funny guy there, and that's how I knew I shouldn't do stand up because I remember watching. I think it was like I was listening to like O&A or something, and I think it was like Patrice or Louis said something like, "Yeah, it's always the funny guy at work that wants to do stand up, and this guy sucks." I'm like, "Man, I won't do it then." Because I kept getting called the funny guy. I was like, and that's why I started later, but. At the time, Jeselnik had just started coming on to the roast thing, and he was really good with the roast, and I liked that. And my ex-girl, or the girl I was dating at the time, got me tickets to see Jeselnik at Helium, and he was dating Amy Schumer, and they'd broken up like 2 weeks prior to that. 10 minutes into a set, a bachelorette party yells simultaneously, goes, "We love Amy." And he goes, "What?" And they're like, "We love Amy." He's like, "Oh, really? Well, Splitsville about 2 weeks ago, but thanks for keeping up with the news." And he just couldn't get the setback. He was shook.
Crying inside the whole time. I also love Amy. She
Dude,
won't return my
it
call.
rocked
Could you
him.
get a message to her,
Dude.
please?
It rocked him. And I remember just now seeing him as like a regular dude. And I'm like, this dude sucks, man. And that was on a Saturday night. That Monday, I was at Urban Saloon.
Hell yeah.
Bombing. Bombing.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I hate Jeselnik now, but it's like at the time I thought he was really funny, but you know.
Yeah.
But
I used to feel that way. I used to feel like I wouldn't be able to give up stand up. But if I look at what my life would be like without stand up, I think I would have to get more into like the podcasting.
yeah, like
stuff.
dude, I love doing the podcast with Shane because people look at it like, you know, you're trying to do this thing for more clout. And it's like, dude, I just like sitting down with my friend and talking shit for an hour about literally nothing. It it keeps me sane. Like his riffs with mine, because we have no agenda. We don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the most therapeutic thing for people like me and Shaner. We are not traditional therapy guys. We grew up with dads that were loud and angry.
Yeah.
Shaner's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Lot really methy on his side,
Okay.
but
Meth anger.
Yeah.
but we can relate like that same way with like you know you guys and like and, you know Matt and Shane, and it's like you guys, everybody I know comes from that kind of family, you know, Rainey and everybody like that. So it's like
Loud,
I'm not
angry dad families.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Wide buttholes and loud, angry dads. That's what you guys got going on. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I had a loud angry mom, but yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
She counts.
But it was like, you know how like black moms be, they be like, I'm your mother and your father.
Yeah.
I'm your angry mother and your angry father.
that's great. But yeah, it was like when I started getting to know all you guys better, and like we were all hanging out more and more. It didn't surprise me when I heard certain stories about your childhood, which is when we and Wood started Nobody Died. That was one of the reasons why, because I was like, I know my friends are going to tell stories that are very similar to what I would say.
Yeah.
And yeah, stand up though, just even, dude, we did Wednesday night. I was saying up at in New York for Tom Cassidy's new show. Dude, it was the most fun I had doing stand up in not a while. Like, dude, I love going on the road with Shane or getting to work with Jay or Soda or anybody. But, dude, it was something about this small back room club with like 20 people and just a small stage. It's like, dude, this rules. You know what I mean? It's like that shit is so much fucking fun to me now. It used to be terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to kill. But now I'm like, this sucks. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing more shows with my guys lately.
Yeah.
Like people that I enjoy. And even if they're not my guys, like I'm on lineups with people that I fucking want to see do stand up.
Yeah.
You know, it's just.
Yeah,
it's
we're
just
bringing the show back on the 8th, December 8th. Watch out for that
Yeah,
at Helium.
it's coming to Helium. Check
Oh,
that
yeah.
out, December 8th.
Going to hell. That's what
Yeah.
we renamed it.
Also, October 8th, check me out at the live Dad Meet show. We'll be doing that. It's gonna be a good time. I mean, that's pretty much that's it. So now we got to decide, like, how do you feel? Do you feel enlightened? Do you feel
Yeah, I feel
different?
good.
Yeah.
It's good to talk about this stuff with you guys, you know.
Right? It's like
Yeah.
in a fun way, man. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's also like in our group of friends too. It's like you get different reactions out of stuff like this. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't even count how many times the word gay would come up if I talked about this with Shane.
Yeah,
Not that he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Obviously he
But-
would. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
you get it. You guys are, you know.
Which is funny to me because it's like, that is true, right? But also like the people that I would think to get on here would be you and Shaner.
oh,
Like
absolutely.
the two people who would be like in the like, dude, don't
Shaner,
be gay.
yeah.
You gay. I'm not gay.
Shaner,
You were gay
dude.
first.
If you guys have Shaner on, dude, you better strap in, dude. Send the kids somewhere because it's going to be a long episode.
yeah.
You open up That butthole.
All right, so are we enlightened? Did we do it? We got a little closer. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That
That
was
was
fun.
nice. I
That's
feel
good.
like
Thank
I,
you,
like, know
guys.
you
Yeah.
now. That's nice.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
And
nice.
that's the cool thing.
Yeah.
You know, you get to know somebody you didn't know before.
Yeah.
And you got all these people seeing Six doing all these things. You see him doing stand up. You see him on all these podcasts. But this is the first time I guarantee you they got to know him.
Yeah.
You know, they got to see how funny he is and how he can turn a situation into a funny situation. But now they know this motherfucker.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
they're
cool.
great. I love them, dude. The whole group of fans that like
Oh, it's
that
the
this
best.
world, even the ones that kind of hate certain ones, they're honest though. It's like fuck it, they're entitled to an opinion, but at least they're supporting somebody, and that's what I
Yeah.
love, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I respect. And like, dude, some of them are funny as shit. Like some of the comments, dude, I welcome that. Like the dog. No, I think it's great. It's like, dude, fuck that. They're online.
Stop it, Pitbull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a Pitbull.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
extra
What is
large.
it?
Yeah, there's.
I don't know.
Tell the kids to take that thing out to the bathroom.
But yeah, shout out to all the fans supporting all the
Yeah.
shows out there. They're absolutely great.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, get in here and we'll close this episode and we'll hop on. You have time to be on the Patreon?
Sure.
Awesome, man. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
Dude, get on the
Excited.
fucking Patreon if you're not, because these
Yeah,
episodes.
I might do some weed. I'm a weed guy now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Brian says he's going to do weed.
I mean, I don't know why I say it like that. I've always smoked weed, but like recently I started smoking like before I got on stage.
Yeah.
It was the best time I ever had in my life.
Yeah, dude.
I'll talk about that on Patreon. There's actually some funny shit with
He's
that.
going to do some weed. I'm going to do some freestyle rapping.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Two Jack Bros. I'm sorry we haven't been doing the shout outs recently, but we got a lot of stuff going on and we want to keep this momentum going into the Patreon. So check out the Patreon. Check out You Fucked It. Brian
Bye,
Ryan Shader and Brian Six. YFI. Check out their Patreon. Check out their Twitter. Also, December 8th, Helium, Philly. You are going to have your mind blown with the
Yeah,
comedy
it's-
lineup they put together.
it's gonna be
I've seen
good.
it already. So, thank you for listening to Two Jack Bros. Two Jack Bros. Hop into our Patreon. We love you guys.
See ya.
Yeah. She got you.